Good morning. We still have about 30 minutes left in the morning, so I made it. Good morning. Good morning. How did everybody fare through that Leo full moon? That Leo full moon energy was just so woo. Like I felt like it kicked my ass. I literally feel like it beat the shit out of me. Such a energy is the one energy in my studies in astrology. They say the Leo energy is the one energy that has the permission to function in the ego. Leo is an energy that is this, it's when we really divide ourselves from our parent, right? It's like when you realize as a child that you are not connected to your parents, that you are a separate being. It's where the ego is born. And so yesterday I was just in my ego, like I could not get out of it. And my ego is anybody's ego is brutal, like all of us. James said, I'm still spinning. Oh, a good thing we're going to go hiking on Saturday and we can go into nature and literally. But my face is still swollen from the combo. Like my eyes are still like puffy. Um, and I have Mars in Leo. And so I literally was just at war with everything yesterday. I literally was just in this space. And one of the things that is fascinating for me, because my grandmother um, did some interesting things to trick me into being good, is what I'll say. And one of the things she used to do a lot was, so mind you, my grandmother had like 6 kids before I came. And one of the things, and I grew up in Watts. So I grew up in an environment that was a lot of poverty, a lot of addiction, a lot of crime, and my grandmother was she was the church lady. And so she would often talk to me like, you're not like them, baby. They're doing that and you're better than that. You're better than them. So I came out of my childhood and within my childhood with an air of superiority to the people around me because my grandmother was constantly feeding me with, you're not like that. And it saved me because I didn't go to jail. I did all sorts of shit that everybody else was doing, but I never got caught doing it because it was like I was kind of protected by her sort of, you're better than that. And the flip side of that, though, the flip side of like, is this sort of arrogance and separation that can show up in my energy field that looks down on people. And it's a really challenging aspect of my personality that doesn't show up often. It's not here a lot. But when the bitch shows up, literally, she comes in and she pushes me down and she kicks me and puts me in the closet. and, yes, that you're not like others is a real, and so I get dragged by that, and it saved me. But as an adult, I have to be very mindful of it, and I have to really work to realign that energy because it will suck the life out of me, and it'll have me very much looking down my nose at people. And I just was watching myself do that yesterday. I will get into fights on Instagram. I was having fights with somebody. They were talking about something going on with Kanye and Kim, and I was like, why the fuck are you going to interject in here, right? Who gives a fuck? But I did, and I was down the rabbit hole, and there I was, and so I spent the rest of the day pulling myself out of it, and so I honor the Leo energy. By the end of the day, I was able to come back to who I am as a little girl, like the inner child inside of me that believed in magic, that really believed in the possibility. I had infinite faith as a child. I was dreamy and I just believed in all sorts of possibilities. So there was a part of me that was very, as a child, like innocent. And then my grandmother gave me those her wisdom pills that kept me out of trouble, but then that actually made me be really like a bitch to people. And so it's something that I navigate when I have to. And yesterday was one of those days. But today, it's a brand new day. We're still in the Leo full moon energy. And really, that energy is there to remind us of what we believed in when we were children. What did you believe in? Like, I believed in magic. I really fucking believed in magic. I remember being in church when I was a little girl and they would teach me about Jesus. And like, I believed that I could heal people, I could touch people, I could raise the dead. If he can do it, how come I can't do it? And so that's the important thing to come back to, like what we really believed about ourselves and the world as children, because that energy is now available. And that is what this Leo energy is about. So we are still in the full moon energy. Today is a Jupiter day, and we are still in what we're calling Black History Month, right? And I love that I've been hearing terms about Black futurism, Black future. And I love that because that's ultimately what we are moving towards. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion and blessings, and Jupiter is in Pisces. And with Jupiter in Pisces, we really want to cultivate our imagination and our devotion to the inner world and what we are capable of and what is possible. Pisces governs the subconscious. It governs the aspect of us that we really don't have a lot of control over. But when you do work by following the moon and following your astrology, your subconscious will come alive to you, right? And so the subconscious holds the memory for your lifetimes. It holds your ancestral energies and powers and gifts. And what we're really working to do is cultivate and activate our gifts, our potentials, our powers, our energies, our clairvoyance, our ability to hear, our ability to see, right, with the inner ear, see with the inner eye. If there's Michael Beckwith has this song, you want to see with the inner eye and hear with the inner ear and speak from the inner knowing, right? So this is how we get to the future. This is how we get there, by going deep within ourselves. We can't access what's to come from this external experience. This external experience is collapsing, it's beginning to die. It's no longer viable for what we are desiring and what we're becoming. And so the work is to sit in your creative center, in the portal of your own power, right? And you have to cultivate that. So for me, with this Leo moon, what I'm doing is cultivating my energy with my inner child, because I want to do the work to remember who I am, where I've come from, and what was I imagining as a child? What did I desire? And remember, the body holds the memory. Like, you have not you might think you don't remember, but there is some sort of memory there. There is because the memory is before we were verbal, right? So you might not have an egoic memory, but your body does have a memory of how you felt as a child and what you were desiring and what you knew about yourself. And I just find, it's important to give ourselves more credit as children. Like, that's the thing that's so significant, because we live in a culture that doesn't really honor children and the power and the wisdom that they have. We live in a culture that believes that we have to teach children to become who they're here to be. And in some ways that has been accurate, because we teach them out of their innate understanding. We educate them out of what they know. And if you think about that, you can remember that for yourself. Like, I remember knowing things. I remember having a sense of connection and feeling empowered. And then I can recall being taught outside of that knowing. I remember being in Catholic school, and the nuns teaching about Jesus and all of these things, and me questioning why and what do you mean, and explain that to me, because they were teaching us away from our natural, instinctual, or intuitive understanding. And so what we want to do is to begin to cultivate that again, to begin to remember that. And how do you do that? By putting yourself in situations that anchor into your childhood, playful things, right? So for me, I've been riding my bike. out looking at butterflies. I've been talking to the trees. I've been doing things that really cultivate the inner child within me. And if you don't do it, your ego mind will usurp and always this doesn't make sense. Because the thing that is so important to understand is that this universe is configured around your psyche and who you are. You can create anything you desire, but we have to recognize that we have been indoctrinated in a story, in a way of being that has us behaving outside of who we are naturally and organically. This teaching people to, you have to grades 1 through 12 and then go to college, and here's what medicine is, and here's what the law is. All that is made up shit that goes against your natural alignment with the universe. And so many of us have to begin to reorient ourselves back to who we have been before we forgot. And that is the work of this time, to remove the layers, peel back the stories and the experiences that we've had in this forgetful state. Heartbreak, unforgiveness, all of that stuff is a part of your journey, right? We don't want to make it wrong. We want to make it like it's the obstacle that is assisting us in getting our power back. So with Jupiter is about expansion. And the sun is finally at the last degree of Aquarius. Can I tell y'all, can I get an amen that the sun is leaving Aquarius? Woo, Lord have mercy. So grateful. So the sun is leaving Aquarius and going into Pisces. But Aquarius is the mind of God. Aquarius just means that we are here to do something innovative. We're here to do something we've never done before. And now in Pisces, when the sun goes into Pisces, it's going to bring the energy to our subconscious. It's going to bring the light into the places where we might not have had light before. And it also brings us into the things that it's time, what is time to end, what things need to die. Pisces is endings, right? So as we are, Aquarius is like, okay, we're going to stepping into innovation, stepping into new things. But then what things need to go away that will allow the innovation to grow? What things need to be really reframed, released, reorganized, thrown away, burned up, killed, annihilated? And so as we're in this conversation around Black history, the question is, how have we been participating in our own demise? That's it. How have we been participating in our own oppression? Because nothing can happen without our agreement. Now, how it has worked is that we were born into a system that our parents agreed to, and then they bring us into it, right? It's when I think about this stuff, it's fucking mind blowing. But what we want to really look at is, why have I agreed to this? And maybe it's something that you were indoctrinated into. But now you get to say, is this serving me? Is this what I want to be doing? Is this what is going to be best for me moving forward? And in those simple questions, right? How am I participating? How have I participated historically? Right. And what are the ways? Like maybe for me, I realize like, oh, when I'm voting and giving all of this power to political figures, I am actually abdicating my life force energy to people who are then going to take it and commit crimes around the world and enrich, the war machine, and continue to educate people in ways that are inaccurate around our health and wholeness and well-being. So I have decided that I'm not going to participate in that system any longer. That's my choice. That's not what everybody's choice needs to be. You got to get clear about your own choices. And I always want to say that I'm sharing what I do, But when you begin to understand your own astrology, then you can understand what is best for you to do, right? And so this is why I invite you to come and do the meditations with me. Come and do the moon rituals, the moon class, because you can get clear about your own personal experience in a way that I can only share my personal experience with you, but the work that you want to do is really understanding your own personal experience. And so we learn together, we grow together, but we are still individual. And that's the energy of Aquarius, that your individuality has to shine forth. Your uniqueness has to be cultivated. I have a girlfriend here, like I have my North Node in Aries, so I'm very centered and focused on me. I'm not focusing on relationships this lifetime. I'm focused on really my own energy, my own identity. But if you have the North Node in Libra, then your life is more about relating to others and really being connected in relationships and sourcing your energy through your connection to others. So you've got to understand the uniqueness of your chart so that you can follow that. And it is important to be in community with other people who speak the same language, but we all have a unique path. None of us are going to be doing everything exactly alike. Yes, we can do the new and full moons together because those happen in tandem with everyone, but your unique perspective and unique experience and unique bent, no one else has it. No one else can tell you about it. And the reason I come here doing this work is so that I can show you how it supports me, so that you understand the value of it and how enriching it is in your life. Because when you understand your contract, your natal chart is your contract with the universe. There is no other natal chart like yours. You can have a twin sister or twin sibling, and their chart is going to be a little bit different than yours. Everyone has something unique to them. And so that is why it is important for us to really begin to cultivate our own inner wisdom and inner knowing and our own relationship to our higher self, our own relationship to the divinity within us. Otherwise, we just fall in line with this bullshit that's going on. We just become reactive, right? So yesterday, like I was saying, I was on Instagram and there was a conversation about Kim and Kanye. And I was like, this is their karma. This is what they have created, right? So this is a woman whose career started with her releasing a sex tape into the world. Like, this is a woman whose career started with her, with us watching, was it watching AJ? Was she fucking AJ? Like, whoever it was. But this is so now, as this is her experience, and now she's having a hard time with it, it's karmic. It's all what it is, right? So we've got to understand that everybody has their own karma. Everybody's following their own unique thing. And really, the best thing to do, I think it was Ray J, right? Anyway, it's all good, right? Like, it's great. Like, if what works for people. I really could care less, honestly. But my point is, it doesn't make sense for us to have, like, everybody has their karma. Everybody's in their own journey, and it is unique. And so there's, in this conversation that I was having yesterday, they were defending her. They were saying, "Oh, Kanye's abusing her," and I'm like, this was all their thing, right? So how can it be abuse when it's something that you started and you reveled in and you praised, but now that it's not going the way you want it to go, now it's abuse. That's karma. That's what karma is. And so we want to really give ourselves permission to look at our own karmic patterns, our family trauma, what it means in a black body. What, like, many of us come from families who have experienced tremendous amounts of abuse, you know, through that went through the generations, a lot of secrets and unspoken stuff. And the more that we can begin to uncover those things, the power, the energy comes from them, right? So, like I know in my family, one of the things that was really interesting in my family, my aunt, there were a group of sisters, and the youngest sister got pregnant, and their father was a minister. And so, because she was pregnant, they sent her away. The mothers and the sisters sent her away to have the baby. And when she had the baby, the oldest sister went and collected the baby and said the baby was hers, and then presented the baby to the rest of the family like the baby was hers, because they were hiding from the father, because he was a minister, that his youngest child had been pregnant. They're hiding it, right? And then that karmic lie riveted through my entire family for fucking 60 years. A lie. And that my whole entire family is still backpedaling around and trying to reconcile, right? So these karmic things that go on in our family, they have to be addressed. And you might not get people to talk about it or admit anything or acknowledge it, but just your own consciousness to bring compassion to it, to bring a sense of like deeper understanding. Like, for me, it's like I understand, oh, this Christian narrative and doctrine created so much shame, that because those actions were rooted in shame, and, not trying to embarrass my grandfather because he was a Christian minister in Louisiana, right? So all of that was anchored in shame and guilt and fear. And so then those energies are rooted in the choices, and then they run the fucking entire family for 60 years. And so when we can see the thing that's going on in our family and name it, just name it. You don't have to fix it. You just have to see it and name it with love. Name it with acceptance. Name it with compassion. And know that all of these things are serving to help us grow and evolve. And the growth and evolution might not look the way you think it should look, but it's happening. It's always happening. If one person can see it from a perspective of love, everyone then benefits from that. You don't got to be fucking friends, your family. You hold the same DNA codes, right? So you don't have to be friends, but all it takes is for one person to understand that there is a seed in this that was started 400 years ago. When you understand the dynamic of what we endured for 250 years, you can only have compassion for what we're experiencing now. And the one person that has the wherewithal, the consciousness, the heart to be able to see from the place of compassion and love is the one that will do the work to heal it. So the moon today is in Virgo, and Virgo is all about healing and integration. The sun is at the final degree of Aquarius, and with the moon in Virgo, we are now integrating what we have learned for this month. What has come out of this month? What are the lessons you have learned this month? So for me, this month has been, whew, gosh, this has been a profound month. I have been really reintegrating with my family, but from a new mindset, a new perspective, not one from not not from being a victim and feeling like I'm at the effect of their choices, but from a place of empowerment and consciousness and compassion, knowing that everything that we have experienced was necessary for our growth and evolution. So look at this month, see how you have experienced the sun in Aquarius, what needs to be integrated, and that is it. So I want you to know that on the 23rd of this month, we begin the new moon cycle. I will be having that information ready. I want you guys to come and join the moon cycle, the moon work. It is really the most profound work that will allow you to align yourself. There's something very significant about understanding how important alignment is, and that you have to practice your way into it. You cannot just think your way into it. You cannot just be like, oh, da da. That's not how it works. You have to remove the layers. And the 13 moons work will allow you to do that. But today you can join my Follow the Sun. You can go to my link tree. I have a you can go to my link tree. There's a link for you to join the community that I have created called Follow the Sun. As I, sooner or later I will be winding myself from these public platforms. I'm not doing that now, so no urgency at all. But at some point, because there's just weirdness that goes on here. Like I got somebody was using my image and creating another profile. Like people do really interesting things. So be it. So I just need to have a place that feels like it's mine and I'm not having to create energetic blocks from energies that don't align to me. So I encourage you to join the Follow the Sun. You can join that link here. And on the 23rd, we will be starting our next moon cycle. And I would love for everybody to join because it helps you do the work that I'm talking about, and it helps you do it in a graceful and really beautiful way. So thank you all who got the requests and let me know and blocked them and all that sort of stuff. And all is well. We continue on. Have a beautiful day, everyone. I love you all very, very much. And continue to use this Leo full moon energy to cultivate your inner child and the royalty and your DNA, the power of your DNA that is connected to source energy, to God energy, and what you are here for. What are you here to do? What are you here to be? And these are questions that you have to live into. And if you keep asking yourself, you will get the answers. All right. Peace and blessings. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everyone.